The Joe Rogan Experience.
So what would you have done, say if you had a magic wand and you were the president? Like, how do you mitigate this?
Well,
how do you...
This is my biggest frustration with the White House, which is that you have this populist president who like actually understands like very much why he got elected. But you have so many of the people. I know,
Krystal's
she's
not
rolling her
buying
eyes. Krystal doesn't like
She's
it.
rolling her eyes. She's bobbing her head. She's got a lot of movement.
But he has all these people who work for him from kind of the old regime. Basically was allowed to staff up. And those are the people who were like, let's cap the Paycheck Protection Program, who were like, hey, you know, we just passed this $2.3 trillion plan or this bill. Let's wait and see how it goes as the unemployment numbers begin to tick up, mass small business failure, all these other things. And that's the fundamental tension of the Trump administration is that there were no professional populists, so to speak, right? Like there was no professional apparatus of people on the right who actually held and understood why Donald Trump is president of the United States. And this is what gets back to what I talked about earlier, about the incentive structure, about that system, the think tank, the revolving door. That is an effort to maintain power over the policy sphere. Because if you control that, it doesn't matter what the people think.
Yeah.
It only matters what happens.
Here's why I was making this face. Because, I mean, look, he's the president and he makes his own choices. And if he understood like that there was this need to go more economically left and do it, then he could do it. But the reality is he spent most of his political capital in his first term like giving away tax cuts to corporations, same thing any other Republican would have done. So that's why I sort of roll my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares about anything outside of like winning the day's news cycle. I really don't think he gives a shit about anything other than that.
You know, I mean, see, this is the thing, though. I mean, I've met Trump. I've interviewed him a couple of times, four times, I think. And
what is he like? Exactly
what you see. Exactly what you see on TV. Same guy.
Do you feel like you got through the layers to talk to a human?
No, because he's always on.
I don't think there's anything else.
No, that's
you don't
the thing.
Think there's anything in there?
You know, my favorite thing I ever asked Trump, I was like, what are people going to remember you for in 100 years? And he's like, veteran's choice. And I was like, I'm going to go out on a limb.
Veteran's choice?
Say, that's probably not it, right?
Jesus Christ.
I'm like sitting in there. It occurred with me with Trump. Like, I'm in the Oval, and like, you're like, man, that's where like Kissinger was sitting. Like, man, this is the JFK picture, and like Eisenhower, like the stuff. I don't think he thinks about any of that.
What did he mean by veteran's choice? That he was the veteran's choice?
No, that he was taking care of veterans through like a veterans healthcare
There was like a healthcare program.
He just started rattling off like why he would, like all his, basically like the talking points and like why he's great. But I realized I'm like, Trump lives completely in the moment. And he doesn't really have that like, he doesn't really think about things in that historical context.
Well, they say
that kind of fascinating.
During the briefings, he only pays attention if his name's brought up. So they throw his name in there every now and again.
Just to
what?